So hopefully behind me you should be seeing over 100 screenshots of a Football Manager 2024 simulation of the Europa League final between Atalanta and Leverkusen. Who came out on top? We're going to take a little look next. Simulation video. Today we're going to take a look at the Conference League. That's right, Italy up against Greece, of course, Serie A against the Superliga. Who is going to come out on top? We're going to get into it, all of it, in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, you know who are. And again, if you're new, smash the old subscribe. Now, over the course of the past day or so, we have simulated over 100 Europa Conference League finals between Fiorentina and Olympiacos to see who came out on top over the course of those sims. We're going to give you those results and break them down bit by bit in just a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons, you know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash the old subscribe. That's right. So here we go, guys. Here we go. Jumping straight in the deep end with, of course, a bit of an insight to this one. I'm going to showcase first and foremost the biggest victories from both of these two sides in those over the course of those simulations to prove that they at least won one game in this one. That would have been crazy if they hadn't. Anyway, Fiorentina, they picked up a monster 8-goal thriller, 6-2 in favour of Fiorentina in their biggest win over the course of the simulations. The Greeks, though, they churned up their own 4-0 demolition job of Fiorentina to, of course, kind of match that goal difference in that Fiorentina victory. And, of course, the biggest game, or the game with the most goals, was Fiorentina's 5-4 demolition job of Olympiacos. A bit of a thriller there to give them a little bit of hope. Well, actually, another win in the win column. So those are, of course, the situations we have ourselves right here, right now. So yeah, that's a little bit of a taster to what could be ahead. So if you are believe in it, if you think who's going to come out on top, put them in the comments right here, right now, as we look forward to, of course, the reveal. Now I'm going to try and scoot on over somehow, somewhere. Alrighty then, folks, let's break that down. The goal scorers then for Fiorentina over the course of those simulations. Now, we did simulate in excess of 100 games, and Fiorentina chalked up an impressive 192 goals. But how were those goals divided up? Well, I'm going to tell you right here, right now, from least to most for Fiorentina. So let's get into it, of course. At the bottom there, Passeri didn't get a goal. He may have got a red card. Madrangora got 3. Now, I'm curious now. I may have goofed up here. It might not be in order, but we'll see. Martinez Quarta got himself 3 as well. Beltran got 3 goals for Fiorentina. Faroni got himself 4. Now, I think it is in order. Alfred Duncan got himself 4 for the Italians of the 192. We've also got Ranieri scoring 5 goals as well. Now, also a bit of a disclaimer before we go in the deeper numbers here, that this is a vanilla flavour Fiorentina. Of course, no major changes. I don't think any transfers took place. So please bear that in mind. I don't know who was injured, who was out, suspended. So the players available in this simulation may or may not be available in the real world. So just bear that in mind. Biogari got himself 7 goals. Baturina got himself 7 goals as well. Milinkovic got 10 as we enter the final 6 then. Akone got 13 goals into the top 5 for Fiorentina. Who's in there? Who's number 1? Well, we'll get to him in a minute. Lopez got himself 19 goals out of the 192. That's pretty much 1 every 10. We got Gonzalez, 21 goals scored by him. And here we go to the medal positions, who, of course, came out on top. Sotol got 23 goals. I don't think he was a starter, to be honest with you. We got Belotti, of course, one of my favourite Italian players, got himself 33 goals. But the top man for Fiorentina was Bonaventura, picking up 37 goals for himself for Fiorentina. Quick look at the red mist. There was just 3 red cards for Fiorentina over the course of these 100 and so simulations. Passeri got 1, Faroni got a couple. But now we're going to switch gears to the Greek side. side, Olympiacos, of course, have they got what it takes? Well, they scored an impressive 135 goals over the course of their 100 and so simulations, who, of course, came out on top with their goals. We'll start with the bottom. Ibora, just the one goal for him over the course of the 100 and odd so simulations. Hize got himself also one. Restos got one as well. Ortega, 2 for him. Own goals. There was 3 own goals for Fiorentina players in their own net, which, of course, could have resulted in a victory for Olympiacos. Rodinei got himself 4 goals as well. Martins, 4 goals. Vizo has got 6 goals there, with Horta making up 9. Now we go to the Power 5 for Olympiacos, who, of course, was their main man. And again, don't forget, this is a vanilla flavour here. It may not match that of the real deal side. Of course, there may have been transfers in and out, but to be honest with you, I tried to get it as plain Jane as I could. So into 5th spot, it's Mazuras. He got 10 of the 135 goals to make top 5. We got Kamara with 16 goals, of course, to just miss out on the top 3. But here are the top 3 for Olympiacos, and it's Pondence, 21 goals for him. Power 2 now, and it's Fortunas with 28. And wrapping it up, Navarro squeaks into the top spot with 29 goals. Wow. Red cards, just the 2 for Olympiacos. Martins and Pondence both chalk up a red card for their name. Now, what I wanted to do was combine the top 10 from both sides into a power leaderboard. Who was the main man? Who's the more likely to score when these two sides lock horns in the Europa Conference League final? So here we go. Into 10th spot with an impressive 13 goals is Arcone. And again, another thing, it's just how many of that top 10 goes in favour of which side. So 1 for Fiorentina, nothing for Olympiacos. Into number 9 with Kamara. He bagged himself 16 goals, of course. Into number 8 spot, it is Lopez with 19 goals. And then 7 has Pondence with 21 goals. So the 4 so far, 2 apiece. Pretty much even Stevens down the middle there. Into number 6, though, it's Gonzalez, also with 21 goals. He is joined in the top 5, though, by Sotil and 23 goals. So now, after the addition of another couple there, we've got quite a bit of an Italian flavour to this one. 4 of the 6 revealed are wearing the blue. But Fortunas comes in there with a 28 goal-scoring Italian. He is joined by Navarro, as 8 of the revealed now are for Olympiacos and 4 for Fiorentina, but the top 2 are all wearing blue. Bellotti and Bonaventura coming at you with 33 and 37 goals respectively. So pretty good stuff for the Italians. Is it enough though to give them top spot? Well, we're going to have a look at it right here, right now. We've divulged a little bit too much here. We've gone on a little bit. So let's do the big reveal for these the simulations. Now, I did simulate this match, the final, of course, 101 times, of course, just so there is an outright winner, because it could have been 50 and 50, and then I would have had to do one anyway. But I didn't need the 101 because it was pretty lopsided. 67 of those 101 simulations went in favour of Fiorentina, and 34 went for Olympiacos. Now, that might you might think, oh my gosh, it's so lopsided, what's even the point? But further down this pecking order, we may or may not see a scenario where the penalties occur, or it goes to extra time. Of course, what's the more likelihood of each side winning that one? So just bear with me, and just to confirm those first numbers there are, of course, the defeats. Of course, now let's take a look at the matches that were won within 90 minutes. Now, there were 72 matches won within 90 minutes, and they are divided up like this. Of course, 50 of those 72 went in favour of Fiorentina, and just 22 went in favour of Olympiacos. Now, extra time, games that were decided in extra time only. Of course, there was 21 of those. And of course, again, it goes in favour of Fiorentina. 13 for them, 8 for Olympiacos. What about penalties? There were 8 penalty shootouts in here, and they were divided like this. Even bloody Stevens. So there we go. A little bit of a comeback there for Olympiacos. So if the game was to go to penalties, it is pretty much 50-50 right down the middle. You cannot really call it. But to be honest with you, the overriding stats here are in favour of the Italians. There were 29 games that ended up in extra time, all penalties, and they're, of course, very much in favour of Fiorentina, with 17 of them going for the Italians and 12 for Olympiacos. And, of course, the goals, we've already seen that. 192 goals scored by Fiorentina, 135 goals scored by Olympiacos. So what does that mean? What does all that niff-naff and trivia mean? Well, it means means that the Italians should be favoured here to win this one. But it's a funny old game. I didn't even expect we would have Olympiacos in this final. If you were to turn the clock back a month or so, I'd expected Villa to be in this final to take on the Italians in this one. So let's not rule them out just yet. But the simulations do favour the Italians. Let me know if we're right or wrong. Of course, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. But until then, guys and gals, we are done.